Hello, everyone. My name is Marcos Alvarez, or you can call me Uncanny Mac. And I'd like to talk to you about the computer I just built. Not this one right here, but the one down there. This is Digigraph, a dedicated streaming and game capture machine. I've been streaming for a couple months now, and since I got my hands on Elgato 4K 60 Mark II, I was able to stream console games, as well as capture while I'm playing, which was a huge deal. If I wanted to do that for PC, that was not really an option. If I tried to stream and run a PC game, the stream would just end up becoming a laggy mess. So this way, I'm able to capture and stream with this machine only, while my main machine is able to do all the gaming. So, with a lot of time in my hands and an average viewership of 0 to account for, I start to plan what's going to go into my next PC. One thing I accounted for was spare parts I had laying around because I upgraded a Purple Rain here. One of them was SSD, a 500 gigabyte hard drive. I upgraded to an NVMe drive for this one. So for the new machine, normal SSD wasn't going to be a big deal. I also got a 4 terabyte hard drive, and that would go great for high amounts of video capacity. So that went in there too. One last thing that I had, but I couldn't use during the time I built my machine, was Noctua NH12S. It was stuck in my office, and I had to ask for it specifically one day, which I didn't do till much later. Hey everyone, this is after I finished recording and realized I forgot to mention this. But for GPU, I originally had a 1660 Super in the machine. I had two GPUs at the time, the 1660 and the 980 Ti. The 1660 was in my main machine. However, when thinking about building the Digigraph, I decided to go back to the 980 Ti as my main card and move the 1660 into the recording machine. However, some time ago, I actually got my hands on the 1650 Super, and now that's in Digigraph. It's a PNY model. I forget the exact name. Here's a picture of it now. And now the 1660 Super is back in my main machine in Purple Rain. You can actually see it in the video as I record, so I'm kind of lying to you. Yeah, don't trust me. With those parts already accounted for, I set aside a budget of $500 to help make a machine that would help me stream at around 900p 60 FPS. Here's what I got, and let me explain my reasoning after. CPU, AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Motherboard, Gigabyte 450M DS3H Wi-Fi MicroATX AM4 motherboard. For memory, G.Skill Aegis 16GB DDR4 3000. I feel like I may get flack for this, but I'll explain my reasoning later. Case, Cooler MasterBox Q300L MicroATX mini tower case. Wait, what the hell is that? Oh, it's Connie. Hi, Connie. Power supply, EVGA SuperNOVA GM450 SFX power supply. I should have put more thought into this one. I'll explain later. For case fans, I got 4 Cooler Master Sickle Flow 120 V2 with red LEDs. These weren't my first choice, by the way. And a deep cool fan hub to connect 4 PWM fans. Okay, some explanations for why I chose these parts. This is never meant to be a gaming machine. It was strictly for streaming and capturing gameplay off of my PC and consoles. I went with AMD, and I was originally going to get a AMD 3100, which was 4 cores and 12 threads. However, after bringing up my possible PC builds to PC Part Picker in the forums, people were convincing me to go with the AMD 5 2600 instead. This cost me $30 to $40 more, but I actually admit I was probably better off getting a 6 core and 12 thread chip instead. For the motherboard, I wanted something that was small form factor that can have both my GPU and capture card connected. Also, I wanted something with some kind of BIOS flashback function. It saved me a lot with my main machine. However, I was unable to find any with that kind of function. So I went on to get a budget Gigabyte B450M DS3H. For RAM, I got a pair of G.Skill Aegis 3000 megahertz RAM. It's a 2x8 gigabyte configuration, so that's 16 gigs total. I went with 3000 instead of 3200 because on paper, my motherboard could only support 2933 megahertz. However, when I toggled on XMP, I was able to run my RAM at 3000 megahertz. So it ended up working out well. For the case, I needed something small form factor that would fit an MATX board. It would have to fit under my desk, but on top of a piece of furniture I have under here, which would be 9.5 inches in between both. I wasn't originally thinking about getting the Q300L. It didn't seem like something that would work. And I tried looking around at sort of home theater PC build cases. However, I went with the Q300L anyways because after my research, it did suit all my needs. And honestly, it's actually been a pretty good fit. For the power supply, I made a bit of a mistake. I went with the NESFX power supply. The case could actually support a normal power supply size. However, I was thinking, this is a small form factor build, somewhat. I should go with the SFX power supply. The thing is, though, the cables were way too short for the position the power supply it was in. So I had to order new normal cables for my build. In hindsight, I should have probably just gone with a normal power supply, and then I would have avoided this problem. But overall, it wasn't that big a deal, and the power supply actually works pretty well anyways. Now, I got a bunch of red case fans for aesthetic reasons. Since the computer was going to spend most of its time under this desk, I did not see a reason to go full-on RGB with it. However, the red LEDs still give it a cool look. Like I said, the Sickle Flow Cooler Master fans weren't my first choice. I originally ordered this cheap 3-pack red LED fans from Amazon. However, it took too long to arrive. So I canceled that order, got 3 of these Cooler Master fans. I ended up liking it so much that I got a 4th one to put in the case. I also had to get a Deep Cool fan hub because the motherboard only has a CPU and an additional case fan header, so I needed a way to connect all 4 fans to the PC. Now, those are all the parts accounted for. Let me show you the tools I used. I don't know why, I just felt like sharing. I have an anti-static mat and wristband, flashlight. I really need one because sometimes I can't see what I'm connecting to. Magnetic tray, zip ties, Phillips head screwdriver, laptop. Yes, it's a Mac, get over it. Component manuals. I have these around for references when needed. Water bottle. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell you a water bottle anytime soon, like some people. Now, let's watch me build and mess up. Good time, moment of truth. Oh. Like that. Wait, the monitor on. Oh, duh. Source. Oh. Hey. That was really quick. Alright, looks like everything works. Now to put it in the case. So as I said earlier, I had made a mistake getting a SFX power supply because its cables would be too short for the build. This wasn't a big deal, but with that and also my case fans not coming in yet, I had to wrap up the build with what I was capable of doing and then have to finish up the next week. Here I am playing Crysis, a game that is still known to be playable with only the highest of PC specs. This was something I was unable to run and stream at the same time. Now I am able to run the game at 50 frames per second now. I did it! Now, everything is running smoothly except for one thing. Unfortunately, my capture card, the Elgato 4K 60 Mark II, has issues running when the source is either over 1080p in resolution or running above 60 FPS in frames per second. If it's ever set above those two things, the video source feed would appear very buggy and have a lot of artifacts. It's basically not usable, so it can only be set to 1080p 60. This was still a problem when it was in Purple Rain, and it's a problem when it's in my new machine now. So I think there's a problem with the card itself. I am in contact with Elgato's customer support, and they've actually been immensely helpful. Honestly, I've been the problem communicating because I stopped talking to them over the holidays and haven't started back up since last week. But beyond that, I am grateful for the machine. I am happy that I'm now able to focus playing on one machine and streaming on the other. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow me on Twitch, you can follow me at twitch.tv/uncanny_Mac. Thank you. Go have a day.